What's up guys, Evgeny Genchev here with another episode of Sweet Struggle, and here I share my knowledge and experience both as a performer and as a teacher to help you on your musical journey. Here we are at the Gospel Pianos in Sydney, Australia, and I'm actually preparing for my Saturday recital at the Glebe Music Festival, and this over here is gonna be the baby that I'm gonna share the stage with. Yeah, Bechstein grand piano, and I haven't tried it yet and I'm very excited too. I thought it would be really cool to actually share this process of exploration with you guys, because this is something that every pianist goes through when going into a new place and sitting on a new piano. You need to explore it and see how much the ability of the instrument is, how far you can push it in order for it to serve you and your interpretation, and for it to project in the best possible way. Unlike most instrumentalists, we actually cannot bring the piano with us, or let's say most of us cannot afford bring the piano with us, so every time we sit at the piano in a new hall, it's a piano that we don't know. So right now I would like to go through a few of the things that I would be looking for in the instrument, and I will try to extract from some of the process of exploration of the piano, so that we can collaborate more beautifully on the day of the concert. This exploration process is very much determined by the repertoire that you're playing. Certain things you can get away with, and if you play certain other repertoire, maybe you need a different instrument altogether. But in general, there are things that you should be looking out for, which are the evenness of the keyboard, whether some of the notes are sticking out, whether the pedal is reliable, whether all the dampers move together when you push and release the pedal. These are universal things for any repertoire. On Saturday, I'll be playing works by Liszt and Chopin, and that also will include all the Chopin etudes opus 10, together with the Dante Sonata, Liebestod, and Chopin Barcarolle. It's a quite hefty program that I need certain elements to work in a particular way. I have a certain sound design that I would like to extract from the piano. So let's get on with it and see how far we can push it. The first piece in the program is Dante Sonata, and it's important to get this very nice and ringing sound from the very start. So let's check it out on this piano, how it works. I would say it's pretty good. Now this has to make a statement from the very beginning, so this is important to really sit on the piano and know that, okay, this is how the piano goes and this is how it runs. Obviously during the rehearsal and the general rehearsal in the hall, I'll try and explore it even further, but I thought it's interesting to actually see what is in my mind when I'm approaching a new piano, and I have a program and a sound in my mind that I'm trying to recreate, to get close to as much as the instrument allows you to. Another part that is important to try out is in the soft moments where you really want to go intimate and to see how quiet and how much you can recreate the sound that you like. Let's go into the middle section of the sonata and see how the piano responds to that. Alright, I think there is definitely something to work with on here, and it's important that normally you wouldn't get the chance to work with a grand piano before it's already on stage. So then you would need to also account for the acoustics and how all that lands, and what would be the difference when the audience actually comes in the hall as well, because that is going to change drastically also the acoustics depending on how full it is in the auditorium. All this stuff that we're making, we would need to remake and go and dig even further into them once we're in the performance space. Now I would like to go into the Barcarolle, maybe a bit of the beginning and also the middle part. The opening of the Barcarolle is super important. It's half of the piece and it sets the scene for the entire thing, very similarly to the Dante Sonata, so you need to get it right. Notice how when I actually picked up the pedal at the end of the first phrase, how was no residue from any note. There was no spills because the dampers actually killed it evenly. This is essential, and it's really helpful not to have to think about that, because with certain pianos it can be really problematic. You can even get some sort of a buzzing sound which can annoy the whole atmosphere and can really disturb the performance. Now I would like to try a couple of things in the middle section. Notice how this note gets sustained and you can really hear it until the very end, until it flows to the next one. This is not a quality that always is present in grand pianos or in all pianos in general, and it's an important thing in order to follow the line, the melodic line in Chopin. Especially in that piece I find it very important. That's why it's something that I'm looking out for. So notice again how this top voice flows into the continuation of it. So next one, I would like to trade the Barcarolle, just the section just before the recapitulation of the whole piece. That creates a very nice resonance and creates a very nice atmosphere that then flows into the recap and back to the theme of the boat song, which Barcarolle, that's what it means, the love duet. Now another thing that I want to test out is the repetition. With Bechstein generally I haven't had any problem, and it's always been actually very reliable and more active than most pianos that I've ever tried. So still I would like to test it out and see that the tremolo in the beginning works and I can still have control over it. So Let's check it out. Alright, so that's reliable, and I can actually be more calm at the beginning of Liebestod because it's actually such a thick texture that normally you can get nervous, you can get lost in all the parts that Liszt very well did and very well put everything inside, but then it can get quite problematic for the performer if you're not in your 100% focus. And this tremolo, although insignificant, can put me off the rails. So it's important for me to check on this. Now another thing that I would like to check is see how far I can push it in the climax and how that goes into the coda, because it's such an atmospheric and such a climactic place that it's essential to really have the fullest and the biggest sound, and then to pull it all out, all the air out of the room by the end of the whole piece. So let's check it out. Alright, I think Saturday will be fine. So far so good, and this seems to be very promising, and it's something that I can dig deeper into when I'm actually in the performance space, so I can see it within the whole acoustics how it works. But this is definitely an instrument that I can rely on in performance, and I can go on stage with feeling confident that it's gonna perform to a high standard. Obviously there are many more things that I would like to go through, and there's the whole of Opus 10 Chopin etudes that I would ideally like to run through, but if I actually go through everything necessary, it would probably come up to a 5-hour video, which maybe some other time. But meanwhile, I hope you've enjoyed this instrument, and I hope you've enjoyed me sharing a little bit of my process of settling on a new instrument and what I'm looking for and how I'm trying to fulfill the interpretation that I've got on a new instrument. What are the qualities that I'm looking for, and what is the sound that I'm pursuing. Now it may change with the performance space, it may change with my interpretation, and it may also be necessary to adjust to the piano so that you can push it as much as possible, but not beyond the limit in which it's going to reach distortion. So in the remaining hours, I'm actually going to try to establish that limit and see how far I can push it, and explore it with the entire repertoire for the recital. So this is something that can sometimes be a rough process. It can be a struggle, but mostly when you have a beautiful instrument, actually it's an enjoyable process. I hope you found this video useful, guys. A bit of behind the scene of how you can prepare for a concert and what goes in a pianist's mind when they're stepping onto the platform on a new instrument. So I hope that has revealed some new information, something interesting to think about and maybe incorporate into your process of music making. I would like to give a special thank you to Bechstein and also to Gospel Pianos, who are the official distributor for Australia of Bechstein pianos. It's been a treat being in this showroom, and I'm really grateful that they've had me and they've been warmly welcomed me, and I'm very happy that they're providing the piano for my recital on Saturday. Probably by the time I post this video, this is gonna be long gone because of my slow editing skills, but I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here and to explore all these different pianos. And if you enjoyed this video as well, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell icon so that you never miss an upload, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.